Today we're going to take you on a trip in Mark Twain National Forest on Glade Top Trail. The two trails that we're going to be taking this go round is Tennyson Hollow West, and we're going to divert over to the West Fork West. That's FS 507 and FS 509. For this trip, we usually air down to 18 on Glade Top Trail, and we are on 37s. We always enter Glade Top for these trails on the southwest side. We're going to take a ride onto Tennyson Hollow West. That's FS 507. You'll find it's a difficulty rating of about 4 out of 10 when you look on onX. I will warn you that this trail is rather skinny. You're going to end with some pinstriping on your Jeep when you get through. At that point of the trail, it does go off to the right, but that part of the trail is really intended for side-by-sides, not for a full-size Jeep. Just like most trails in the Midwest, especially in the Ozarks, you're going to find a lot of different terrains that we're going to go across. We really love looking out over the plain, being able to see all the beautiful views of the Ozark Mountains. As we drive through this mud puddle, it does get us down in there just a little bit, but really it wasn't very deep at all. It was just really mushy. This section looks way worse than it really is. You have plenty of clearance that will keep you from rolling too far one direction or the other. This is the first water crossing that we get to. Really, it was very thin. We went through in June and we didn't find that any of the water areas were very deep. We could easily get through them. And even if you didn't have a high clearance vehicle, you should be fine to be able to get through these water crossings as well. This area is really way steeper than it looked. As we came up over that last rock, it did slide our back end towards that tree, but we didn't feel we were at any major risk of hitting it. It's not really impossible to get through, and you don't necessarily need a high clearance, but it does help to have probably a locking differential. Just take it slow and you should be fine too. That trail to the right is another one of those side-by-side trails that dump back off onto this trail. At the end of this path, it's going to actually make a T, and at the T, you're going to take a right if you want to follow the path to West Fork West. But if you take a left, it's still going to get you back up to the fire road. It will actually take you on Tennessee Hollow East. West Fork West is another 4 out of 10, and you start out in this beautiful meadow. I just love all the wildflowers. Of course, we're in June, so it's wildflower season here in the Ozarks, and it just makes such a great drive through this hollow at the bottom of West Fork West. As an artist, now that I've been through this trail one time, I really want to go back, because this is a section in June that I would really want to stop and take some amazing photography and maybe even find something new to paint. Now, This section, I did take advantage of this little shot here to create a new drawing for my Jeep art. If you're interested in seeing what that is, it's in the links down in the comments. As we came out of West Fork West, we did get quite a bit of pinstriping because this part of the trail does get rather narrow. Here's the second water crossing that we came upon. It was deeper than the last one, but still not too bad at all. It was a hot one that day. If there were a place to have pulled over, I would absolutely put my feet in that water and let Titus run around for a while. Just remember, when you're on these trails, it is illegal to stop in the waterways. So as tempting as it was, we just kept going. As we come upon this creek bed, it's still the same creek bed as before. It's just not high enough to actually have any water in it. The creek will now follow us on the left-hand side. This is such a beautiful part of the trail. Just keep in mind that there is always a risk for trees being down. Luckily, you can see that none of the trees that were down here, they had all already been cut off the path. But we do have a chainsaw in the Jeep just for those occasions. Just be aware that if there's a tree down, you may have to cut it off the path just to get through. In the Mark Twain National Forest, you are allowed to cut the tree off the path, but you're only allowed to cut it that much. You have to leave the rest of the tree as is and not disturb any of the natural habitat. This area was a pretty easy climb. We didn't need to worry about locking our diffs, and we didn't have to worry about clearance issues. Now, mind you, we are on a 2-inch lift and have 37-inch tires, but it really was not a hard climb or descent at all. You just cannot beat this view here at the middle of the trail for West Fork West. This little rock on the right is going to catch your right wheel, but really it was nothing to worry about. You can get over it really easily when you're in 4-low. So now we're back at the top of the trail where we actually started out at. This is the area that we stopped to air down, and now we'll stop to air back